Quarterbacks this week or this coming up week. Who's going to take advantage of what sorry ass defense first? It's a 1-3 matchup coming up. Let's freaking go. What's up, what's up, what's up? Fins family, Fins up nation, Fins fans. Another show outside the pod here. Jules and Danny, we're here from the Southwest. We're going to talk some Miami Dolphins. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe. We're going to get into it, but first, we want to talk about last week for sure. And the performance against the New York Jets. Do you think they did enough to change your mind about the trajectory of this team in the future with this staff? Let's get right into it. How'd you feel about the game?
No, man. It doesn't change my mind in general. I think we're still headed toward a 5-6 win season now. I just don't see it. I just think we ran into a worse team probably. And that's just about it. I don't know that they showed me anything new to change my mind.
Right.
You just maybe hope that a win can maybe make something click on this team. Something. You just there's that little hope, because winning brings more winning, right? It could. It depends on what context, what team you're talking about. But I gotta hang on to that hope. Otherwise, what else we got? But we've seen this movie already in other prior seasons, right? We've seen this before, and so you can't. I'm gotten tired of getting excited and then getting disappointed, and so for me, it hasn't changed anything.
Yeah, the 27-21 was the final, and it's just not enough, right? We talked about it before, leading into the Jets game, and that was that it needs to be a blowout for them to really change my mind about how the season's really going to go, and it just wasn't. Really, at the end of the day, the Jets shot themselves in the foot the whole game, right? We had penalties, 13 penalties for 101 yards. And then we had a couple of takeaways, 3 actually. 2 of them were fumbles. One was right at the 1-yard line. And the other one was the strip by none other than our rookie. That's playing well, bro. We talked about this before. Dante Trader Jr.
Here. It's again putting the ball on the ground by way of a fumble.
Mute this, but yeah, Dante Trader Jr. is playing really well. He stripped this ball for this fumble.
It's again putting the ball on the ground by way of a fumble.
But anyway, we did have a couple of good strips and all that, but I think that the Jets shot themselves in the foot with the penalties, with a couple of penalties where they could have had a touchdown with Wilson. But I know you said that maybe the Jets are a worse team in the beginning, but I want to say they just didn't perform. They could have beat us this game. They're probably a lesser coach team at this point, which is crazy, right? It is the first year under Glenn, but yeah, I mean, we could say that maybe it was a worse coach team for this game than the Miami Dolphins.
And by worse, I do mean like in some aspects of their game. Like I don't think they have a quarterback that can make some plays down the field to complement, because they were running the ball down our throats. I mean, they were like they
and I didn't
we could not stop the run. The problem is they needed a couple of big plays in the passing game to keep them kind of balanced, and they don't have that. They are a worse passing team than we are.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think what Fields is missing for his play is just like because he's got the ability, I feel like, but he doesn't have. I don't think he's tightened down like the mechanics. Like, I don't think he's got the football IQ to really be a good quarterback. But you saw flashes, bro. I mean, that pass to Wilson in the end zone, the one that was called like offensive pass interference, I think he kind of pushed off. And I mean, Wilson made a great catch too in the corner. I mean, that was not bad, bro. Like that could happen too. And I think the reason it didn't is because they couldn't get in a good
Rhythm.
And I mean, I'm not saying Fields could, is a better quarterback than Tua, but I think that they could have beat us. And yeah, to your point, Fields was making some scrambles here. And I got a couple of clips on that too. Yeah, I mean, the missed tackles. And that's one thing that I wanted to put out there too. Not so much against the Fields scrambles, but he's got a couple of scrambles that, I mean, the edge needs to be set. I think it was this one where Ashton Davis got him to go back inside, which is good. He did his job, but Brooks wasn't there to get him to get back into the middle again, and was able to get outside of him and make this play.
Yeah, one of the things I saw on that play is like number 2, Chubb, right? I don't know that he gave up on the play. Bradley Chubb might have given up on the play too soon, right? He falls to the ground when he's being blocked. Mm-hmm. But then you still got to be aware, like you need to get up right away and be aware that edge is sealed off. Yeah. He comes, if you run the clip again, you'll see him come back to that side of the field to his left. He cuts it back to his left, and there's nobody there. But then, Chubb's on the ground and he's too slow to get up. So we see Chubb fall to the ground, right? There's two players on the ground right there.
They're just laying there. Like they gave up on it. Yeah, you're right. They could have been up, knowing that this guy is he's gonna try to stretch the field back and forth and then go up the field.
You gotta know that, man.
Yeah, you're right, dude. I didn't even catch that.
I think the other guy is Grant. They're just like taking a nap right there. Come on.
Well, they probably thought it's not coming back this way, right? They're probably thinking, this place is going the other way. It's not coming back this way. Why get up even? Why in a hurry? But
how many times? How many times have we seen players get up from the other side of the field, run all the way across to the other side, follow the play, continue following the play? And then
that's something Christian Wilkins would have done.
That's what I'm saying.
That's something Christian Wilkins would have done. Anyway.
So those kinds of things, it's just a little bit frustrating,
But I did mention the missed tackles, bro. And with Breece Hall and their other running back, I can't remember. Like these guys were just like, these guys are taking 5 more freaking yards, if not 10 more yards. After the initial contact, you know what I mean? There, what was that? Somebody just like, whatever. Initial contact, 5 more yards, and then Ashton Brooks finally gets him back. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, I feel like our defense might be too small. Like, some of our linebackers are just too small, bro. They're like safety size. Both Dotson and Brooks are like like a bigger safety. You know what I mean? We don't have a Sayal. We don't have a Fred Warner. We don't, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are small, man. And it's showing. They're leading in tackles. Both Dotson and Brooks are like the highest linebackers in the league, basically, with tackles.
Yeah.
Why? Because our freaking line's not making tackles. But either way, they have to make the tackle like at first touch. Like when you first touch it should be it. Not like after somebody else grabs his legs and you're hanging on them and all this crap. Like, anyway, these are the type of things that I saw this game that are not changing my mind. Yes, we won the game, but dude, Brees Hall was running all over him.
Yeah.
Justin Fields was taking off and having his way when he was scrambling. There was a couple of stops here and there. Like I said, we got some turnovers, which were good. From what I heard is that they practiced a lot as far as stripping the ball, you know what I mean, punching the ball out. And it seemed to have, actually created a couple of turnovers. But at the end of the day, this game was too close. And it should have been a blowout for them to change my mind. That's mostly what we're talking about. The trajectory of the season stays the same. This game should have always been won, and it should have been won more like with more of a blowout with more points on the board. But
yeah.
We want to talk about the offensive player of the team, the offensive MVP here. And this is freaking Achane, man. Like, this kid is dynamic, son. Like, there's no way around it. This kid could play freaking football, dude. And they need to continue to feed him the ball. Keep him freaking, standing up as much as he can. He needs to stay healthy. But this one right here, bro. This one right here. I got to play that again because the juke at the end. This is the second game where Achane is basically willing himself a touchdown, bro. That's the second time. The previous game too, where he freaking bowled his way in as well. Kind of in the same way as he did that, but this one was a juke. The other time he kind of broke tackles, like he freaking led it with his freaking shoulder and went in.
Yeah.
And it's something that Achane is just doing over and over. Yeah, they're getting him in the backfield sometimes because, obviously the blocking is not so great. Sometimes the holes are not there, but he's still making it happen, dude. This is our offense right here, right now. This is our offense. Like, I don't care what anybody says. It's one of the best running backs in the NFL right now. What do you think?
Absolutely, man. We've been saying this for like a few weeks now. You got to give him at least 25 touches a game. 18 runs, 7 to 10 passing targets as well, because try him out in the screen pass, even out in the seams, and because he's that dynamic, he's that explosive. He's every time he touches the ball, he has the potential to take it to the house. And he hasn't broken one like that for a long touchdown, but he's getting a lot of chunk plays in the running game, man.
Yeah.
And so
he's looking really good.
Yeah, I don't get it why he's not getting the ball more. I think he got it a little bit more this time, but he needs to continue to do that. And I do still worry about his small frame, but he's really good at he's to me, he's starting to get better at avoiding the big contact.
Yeah. You're right.
And that bodes well.
Yeah,
because that's going to help him stay in the game, stay healthy, and keep doing what he can do, man. Because that is a bad man right there. That is a bad man.
The difference between last year or the previous couple of years and this year, I think you brought a good point, is that he's being able to kind of juke enough to kind of the tackles that are being made on him are kind of just wraps after the fact, grabbing his ankle, and then like he falls. You haven't really seen crazy contact at him. He's been able to, create those angles.
He's falling forward instead of falling
forward. Yeah. And just the contact on him is a lot softer than you probably see the previous few years. And then also he's playing hard though at the same time, dude. Like I said, this is the second time, like legit, you see him will his way into the touchdown, bro. Like, this is my touchdown. I'm getting this. And he does that. It's like, dude, dynamic right now. But another surprise in this offense this week is Mr. Waller came out of the basket, bro. I'm not blowing the whistle on him because guess what? If he continues the way he just did, these plays here, especially this one right here in the back of the end zone, like, come on, bro. And I was like, he didn't get his feet down. And then the second look, I was like, he got his foot down, dude. He got both feet, and that's nasty. That's nasty.
That is. It's like a nasty curveball by Clayton Kershaw. And sorry, a Dodger came into my mind first. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Oh man,
I'm done talking about baseball, man. I didn't have a good week.
I could have said Zach Gallen. Anyway. But anyways, but you know what I mean, though. It's just nasty, dude. You're right. How athletic do you need to be to make that play and stretch your legs in midair to get? We've seen that from all these very athletic wide receivers, but a guy with that big of a body,
6'6", 250 or whatever he is,
right? He's a freaking linebacker or defensive end playing linebacker or tight end or whatever. But man, that was a great play.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, he had 2 touchdowns, right? The other one wasn't as flashy, but he's there wide open. I mean, he's just a receiver in a big old tight end body, bro. It's just crazy. I mean, you're not going to. So he looks like he's still. And I was thinking that before the game, that week of practice, watching him run routes and stuff, I was like, dude, he looks pretty quick still. His feet look good and everything. I was like, this could be crazy. And so I owe Waller an apology. Blowing the whistle on him for weeks, thinking that he's never gonna make the field, and he looks like he's gonna be active this week too. So far, at this point of the on Saturday afternoon, and he looks like he'll be there tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon for the game. So yeah, we'll see if he continues to be a good target for Tua, man, that dude could be dangerous. We all know what he's capable of, and that could be pretty exciting. And that's the thing, like while we're talking about trajectory right now for the Dolphins is terrible, but if there's another weapon on offense, it could change a lot of things.
Absolutely. No, I loved it. It was a great surprise, and with Tyreek out, you're gonna need another weapon. And it's almost like conveniently coming at the right time, right? Because you're gonna miss one weapon, you bring in another, and we'll see where that takes us.
Yeah, and we haven't really touched on Tyreek yet. I guess we could touch on it now since you mentioned him. Big, huge loss for the Miami Dolphins. I watched it happen, and I immediately texted you. I was like, dude, Tyreek's leg is done. His leg is done. It looked like he snapped it like a twig. I was hoping it was the knee because I think it is probably better for him, less painful to dislocate the knee. But the story here is going to be: is he ever going to return to the football field at his age as a receiver, taking a lot of hits? His speed, is it ever going to be back to where it's at or where it's been? Oh, I feel very sorry for Tyreek and the Hill family as a whole. That is a Hall of Fame type receiver. He's got Super Bowls, did great for the Miami. I thought he was on his way to being back to his norm with getting targets from Tua. And so we lost him at a very, very bad time.
Absolutely. He's one of those weapons that although polarizing, he can carry a team. In 2023, if it wasn't for him, I don't know that we have the success that we had in 2023 because our offense it's just built around him right now, right?
Yeah.
And so he's the one that stretches the field. He's the one that attracts the attention. He's the one that makes other people be successful because you have defenses so preoccupied with Tyreek that he makes the rest of your offense that much more dangerous. And so my question to you is, does the absence of Tyreek make this team better or worse?
Fabulous question, man. And I want to say it could go either way, just because obviously a lot of the players, we have dynamic players on the offense like Devon Achane, which we talked about a lot already in this episode. But we also have Jalen Waddle and then the emergence of Darren Waller as well. Those guys are going to get a lot more targets, and they have a huge ability as well. So I think eliminating Tyreek, and I hate that I use that word, eliminating, but losing Tyreek now kind of opens it up for some of these other players that are very capable in their own right to make a lot of big plays. And I think that kind of forcing Mike McDaniels create these plays for those specific players, it's going to open a lot of eyes. And not only that, but, we have that offense that's kind of, all the defense are anticipating Tyreek Hill. And now changing the offense from that might put the game plan of a lot of people. It's not as easy to make it anymore because this offense is completely different now. It's a new offense. And now they have to deal with trying to figure out what the Miami Dolphins are going to do because they forced us to it. Tyreek Hill's out. Now who do we cover? We got Darren Waller, huge. We got Devon Achane, he's starting to break out. And he's starting to get real freaking comfortable with his runs. The Ollie Gordon coming in, who didn't have the greatest of games. It didn't seem like they used him as much as I would like him to see. He needs to get comfortable as well as RB2. But then, of course, Jalen Waddle's almost just as capable as Tyreek Hill. I think he just needs to get his confidence back up, and I think he'll do that in the next couple of games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this team reacts, right? With the loss of Tyreek. You're going to miss having a weapon of that caliber a lot, but you also miss the fire, right? And the competitive spirit. Do you have that one person in the offense right now that does that without Tyreek? I don't know. Who is that guy that brings that fire and that competitive spirit on the offense? I don't know if we have anybody like that.
Vocally, maybe not. But we just talked about that man, dude.
Yeah.
Achane. On the field, with the way he plays, he's bringing that. And he's got that grill now. You've seen his blinged out grill last game. Unis on point. He had that blinged out grill that he scoring touchdowns and just showing it.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, I know he seems like he's a quiet dude, but he gave me the energy.
Mm-hmm. Well, just watching these clips right now, I was like, whoa.
Just watching him play, I'm like, dude, this kid, that touchdown where he juked him like that at the end, instead of taking his shoulder down and trying to bulldoze in, that's probably what they were expecting, and he just juked him. I was like, dude, that is hype.
There's a point in the play where he's running to the right side of the field. And if you pause it right after he turns, forward, and you see like 5 defenders there, you say, like, there's no way this guy's going to make it to the end zone.
Yeah.
If you pause it right there, I'll bet you $100 he doesn't make it. Somebody just on the outside looking in. And they would have bet you there would have been, no, there's no way this guy's getting in the end zone. But he did.
Touchdown probability was very low.
Next gen stats was probably at minus 0.1%.
Yeah, exactly. And he scored it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that might
Yeah,
be
yeah. On
the
the field,
answer to your question.
absolutely. Absolutely on the field, you have guys that can make plays. Now you have Waller, and hopefully that is something that continues. It wasn't a fluke. And him and Achan and Waddle, hopefully, we still have enough weapons, hopefully. But vocally is my question, really, right? We'll see. We'll see,
Yeah.
because you have it's especially when things are going right. Tyreek, I think, was a great asset in that way. He pumps people up. He was, pregame speeches and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. He was always doing that, right? You do
Mm-hmm.
take the bad with the good with the bad too, though,
Yeah.
because when things weren't going as good, he's like you know, that
Yeah.
aunt in the family reunion that everybody wants to keep happy. Otherwise, criticizing. She's criticizing mom's cooking. This
Yeah.
turkey's rubbery, and your daughter's a hoe.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And if everything's going right, then she's okay. She's the life of the party, right? But
Right.
but that's so you take the good with the bad with Tyreek. And so that's
Absolutely.
one thing that I'm not gonna miss, right? But
Yeah. I mean, I think you have a point. I think there's a little bit of the culture of the Miami Dolphins without Tyreek being there, kind of being the Debbie Downer, and not bringing out, not being a leader in the bad adversary times, right? Like that's when you need him, and he wasn't there a lot of the times, so that's a good point. I think him not being there, maybe somebody else stepping up that's a little bit more optimistic, even when the cards are down or face down, then you could probably try to get this team to get going again. One real quick other clip that I wanted to show, just because from the previous game, just because I was like, I had to hold my breath a little bit, is Tua scramble, man. Like, what are you doing? Slide earlier, bro. Like, slide.
yeah, I can't, man.
I, bro, like his head was almost taken off by one of his good friends from the island. They played, they were good friends from Hawaii. This guy almost took his freaking head off, bro.
Yeah.
So,
No, every time he takes a few steps forward, even it's just like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
he should have thrown the
Slide
ball
earlier,
to
bro.
Ingold right there, man.
I
Just
mean, yeah,
throw
it
the
could have been a
ball
pitch,
to
yeah.
Ingold. He could take a hit. That dude
Yeah.
is.
He was smiling. I bet you his smile was like super nervous smile right
It
afterwards.
was.
Oh God, they
Yeah.
his head was almost completely off of his body, man. Anyway, moving on to the next game before we get too deep. It was a good conversation about the previous game, though. But moving on to the Panthers in North Carolina. The odds are slightly in Miami's favor, but this is a very even matchup, I think, just based on how the season has gone so far. And I think the strength of the Panthers right now is their offensive line, and our weakness right now is our defensive line. So I don't see us pressuring Bryce Young too much. They are, from what we talked about right before that we started the episode, is that Chuba Hubbard is going to be out. So that's a formidable running back, averaging just above 4 yards per carry. But he's a good running back, and so him out. I'm sure they got other running backs that could take the helm and still, especially with this defense, with our defense, Miami defense, they could probably still have a pretty good run game. But yeah, I mean, the matchup I feel like is so even that it's whatever quarterback has the cleaner game wins. And you know how inconsistent these guys are, both of them. So far this season, it's a toss up for me. It's a toss up for me. the secondaries, both of the so this is why I'm saying quarterbacks, right? Because both of these secondaries are like competing for worst in the NFL, right? Like that's their goal. Let's see who's gonna be the worst in the NFL. That's the Panthers of Miami are probably there at the bottom somewhere. And so both of these quarterbacks should be able to feast. Um, I'm giving the upper hand to Miami still, just because our weapons with Waller and Waddle, as far as passing game goes, are I think a little bit better than Panthers, T Mac, and Renfro, but not that much better. And T Mac's a rookie, but is still the leading receiver on that team. And we knew this coming out when we talked about him in the very early preview of the schedule. We knew T Mac was going to be a very good wide receiver, even though a lot of people thought he was just too slow and everything. But I've seen some catches he made. He got up one time and made a high ball catch, a high point catch. I swear he leaped like freaking 10 feet up in the air, grabbed this ball. So I was like, wow. Anyway, we know we're familiar just from watching T Mac in Arizona. But yeah, I think it's gonna be very important that the quarterbacks play a good game in this one. What you think?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I agree totally that these are very similar teams. They both need to rely on the running game. And the reason I give the edge to Miami is because of Achane, right? If you put Achane against, who are they going to have? Rico Dowdle? I'll take Achane every day.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to miss Chuba Hubbard a lot, man, in this game, I would think. And so I would see these odds go in Miami's favor even more, probably by the start of tomorrow, because of the fact that Hubbard is out. Because I think the X factor is Achane. They both have to rely on the running game because they don't have the quarterback that can sling it downfield. But it's still going to be one of those close games, I think, because we still don't have. I'm not there yet, right? I don't think we're going to blow out. We're not blowing out any of the bad teams, or we're going to be losing against all the good teams.
Yeah,
and that's just where our trajectory is right now.
Yeah.
But because of Achane, I think I give the Dolphins the edge, because you're right. We've already had a hard time getting to the quarterback. And with Carolina's offensive line, I mean, if we didn't get to friggin' the quarterbacks we face till now, we're definitely not getting to Bryce.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be rough unless we blitz, which I don't think it bodes well. We need to find a way to get pressure without having to blitz, and we've had to blitz every time.
I was gonna say, I mean, we may be able to get a bit of blitz in there just because, like we said, Bryce might be kind of iffy when it comes down to being, not making mistakes, and so we might run the risk, or roll the dice on bringing in a safety here and there, a cornerback from the edge, to get in there, just because you kind of want to bet you gotta risk that maybe Bryce will make a mistake, or just not be able to throw the ball downfield to find his players. So I think with Bryce at this point in his career, you're able to make that you're able to roll those dice at that point and try to get in on him. But you're right. If you're just rushing the 4, you're not getting there. Not with this defensive line at this point. The growing pains are still there. Some of these players need to step it up. I don't know what they're waiting for. I do see that Chubb probably gonna make another sack, but we'll see. We'll see. I forgot to talk about some of the injury reports and roster moves that we made, though. Cam Smith is he's out. Finally waived. See you later. He's lucky that my whistle's not playing right now. I don't know why.
What took so long?
Yeah. There it is.
They were
What
just
took so long, Whistle?
hanging on to him, just a waste of locker space.
Waste of space.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the most. Oh gosh, I'm not even gonna. It's not worth the time anymore. But yeah,
Right.
Cam Smith. See you later, buddy. I wish you well. I don't
Yeah.
dislike you or anything like that. It's
Yeah,
nothing personal.
personally, of course not. Of course. I
But
mean, at the end of the day, maybe you go to another team. Maybe you go to the Vikings and they make you freaking another star. Who knows, bro? But you weren't doing it with us. And yeah, it took way too long. Cam Smith's gone. Cedric Wilson in, but out for this game. So, Mr. freaking no calf muscles will not be active for Sunday. Not that I was expecting too much from him. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I like Akine more than Cedric Wilson, anyways. I probably prefer having Eskridge in more. I probably even prefer to have Weiss in more than Cedric Wilson, but whatever. They brought in Cedric Wilson, who's familiar with the teams, familiar with the coaching staff, probably pretty good as far as the book goes. So I guess it's not a bad pickup to try to get some more wide receiver depth. Let's see. At the end of the day, the defense needs to be able to pressure. I think that's where we're going to be. That's where the problems are going to lie. If we get too much from Bryce Young and T-Mac, we might lose this game. But again, back to being a toss-up at the end of the day. So, really, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything as far as things that could go wrong for the Dolphins or right for the Dolphins at this point. Shoot, did you fall off? Or you turn off your camera? Are you there? All right, give you a few more seconds to try to get back in. All right, so it looks like we lost Jules. We were gonna close this up anyways, right? This episode was pretty much about the end. So I was gonna give my prediction and let Jules let get in there and give his prediction, but since he's out, at this point, I'm thinking that the Miami Dolphins will pull it off. There you are.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. I was about to close it out without you, but anyway, what do you? Realistically, what do you think? What's your predictions for this game? Are we gonna be 2-3? Is it 2-3 now? Yeah, 2-3. Is this gonna be a blowout? What do you think?
Yeah, we beat. I think we are gonna be 2-3 after this. I think we do win, but we have to make sure that Achane is involved. He has to have 20 to 25 touches this game. And we have to put pressure on Young. We have to somehow find a way. He did get sacked 3 times last week against the Cardinals, but that was when the running game wasn't doing anything, right? Because Chuba only had, I think, only 10 carries in that game because injury or whatever, right? But he had like 50 something attempts in that game. So yeah, the Cardinals knew it was coming. Huh?
Hubbard?
Bryce Young. No, Bryce Young had 50 something. He was like 55 attempts or something.
Ball that many times.
Yeah,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Well, look it up. Watch it's up. And of course the Cardinals knew it was coming, so they were able to get to him like 3 times. But we, they're pretty good against that pass rush, that offensive line. So we have to find a way. It's not going to be easy, but that's the way we're going to win the game. We need to maybe get a mistake, and he hasn't made a lot of them. He has only thrown like, I think, 1 interception this season only. So we got to figure that out. So if we do that and minimize mistakes and penalties, I think we did a pretty good job of minimizing penalties and some minimizing some of the dumb plays that we made before, but again, it's because it's an inferior opponent. So I think we got to win, but we need to do those two things. Otherwise, we run the risk of them winning. But I think Rico Dowdle, I think he's still going to do pretty well against us. I think they still can run the ball against us, even without Hubbard out. But Hubbard is just a much better running back than Dowdle, and so I think that bodes well for Miami. So I think we win, but I'm saying maybe 24-17, somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah, the Panthers are so far the 6th ranked offensive line pass defense or
pass protection.
Pass protection. Jesus Christ. So far. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. But if he's dropping back 50 times, then we should be able to get a couple, just like Calais Campbell. Then 40 years old, freaking Calais Campbell. I wish he liked the Dolphins. Well, that's one player that he obviously didn't like the staff either. I mean, he's too professional to say anything, but he left like, hey, I'm gonna go play somewhere else, where he could have just ended his career here. But he wanted to go back to Arizona where he was at before, and more power to him. But he's still playing well, freaking as an old man. So that's pretty nice. I just wanted to give him a shout out real quick since you brought him up. But for me, man, I guess I can't agree. I could agree with you. I think we take the win. I started to say that while you were out, but I think we do pull off the win. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be another one just like the one we just saw, just in a different way. Obviously, Bryce Young is a different quarterback than Justin Fields, but it's going to be a very similar difference between the two teams. It's whoever's going to make the least mistakes, whoever's quarterback's going to play cleanest, is probably going to take this game. And right now, I think Tua might be the one. I think we just have a little bit more firepower on the offensive side than they do, and therefore we're going to score more points and win something similar to 27-21. I would say probably the same score, move us up to 2-3, but still not changing anybody's mind. Again, I got to see a blowout for that to happen. This is a bad team, an inferior team. It needs to be a blowout for them to change my mind about the trajectory of this season and any type of thoughts about making the playoffs or even keeping our head coach. Because I think, again, they need to be a playoff team for freaking Mike McDaniel to keep his job, in my opinion. That's my opinion only. But he needs to be fired. Chris Gear needs to be fired. This is not a playoff team, which it's not. Yeah, I mean, we could already tell. They just need a miracle for them to probably keep their job. That's my opinion. That's not saying that that's going to happen. But any final thoughts for you?
No, I completely agree with that. We've been saying that now for the last 2-3 weeks. These wins are not going to change anything. We're going to be 2-3. Sure, it's exciting. I'll watch. I love the team and just Dolphin. I bleed Aqua, and it's nice to get wins, but we got to be realistic. This is not a playoff caliber team. This is not a playoff caliber coach.
Right.
And so it is what it is. We'll still be there for them. We're still rooting for the team. That I love our guys, but they got to show me a lot more to be excited about any kind of playoff run or saving McDaniel's job. It is what it is. It's sad. You hate to see that again another year, but we'll live on.
Right. Well, that'll do it for us this episode. We'll be watching the game. I hope y'all are too. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Help us out. Support the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. And catch us next week for another episode. We'll probably recap Carolina and move on to the next game following that. But I appreciate everybody being here. Fins up. I hope we get a win. I hope we get a blowout. I hope you guys enjoy.
Fins up.